to my video. This is the first slice. You can also call me the Contemporary King or Young but Connected. And you can also call me Strangerooz. So we're going to be doing a reading today. How much of a Viking are you? I have 3 piles and I'm really excited to get this reading started. So basically, I have 3 different piles that you can choose from. The first pile is this beautiful, lovely pile. I forgot the names of actually each tarot card, but they're really beautiful. That's the second pile. This is the third pile. So I believe the second pile is the Divine Intuition. And then I have the Moonology deck. And I'll be clarifying with the Firefox. Okay. So we got 3 piles. And we're going to see how much of a Viking are you. So how much of a Viking are you? We're going to start with pile number 1. I want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for coming to my reading, my channel. Let's see how much of a crazy Viking are you. Okay, I'm hearing like pile number 1, definitely. You could be a little bit of rough handling, rough housing. How much of a Viking is my pile number 1? So I'm seeing like a destination, like a journey. You have been through a very long, stressful journey, right? You're getting on that ship, you're sailing, and it's like you're almost coming back from war. I'm hearing pile number 1. Fighting the beast, you know, the belly of the beast, right? Fighting the belly of the beast, coming back, and when you guys had set out on your plan and you and the army that you fought with, or whatever goal this was that was worth attaining, I'm seeing pile number 1, there was a certain individuals that were in your life that couldn't be there for the next level, right? There are people that are unable, right, to pass through. I'm seeing some certain people have passed over through this battle that you fought so hard for, you finally won. So we have the 10 of Wands clarifying just how hard it was, you standing in the middle of all of that destruction, of all of that warfare, just thinking of yourself while being in the belly of the beast, just how I'm seeing like very gruesome, right? Like these beasts, these goblins, like these soldiers, the enemy, the rivals, they have tricks up their sleeve. They use trickery, okay? And this trickery is why, you know, it's kind of like when you watch 300 and all of them never really got to go to war. All of them never really got to battle because at the end of the day, they were all played. Like King Midas saw all of them die, all of his soldiers die right in front of him because enemies were there trying to pull traps, right? So I'm seeing that you got through this trap. You got through this trap, right? And you are able to come through it because just as much of a Viking are you being able to have such good direction. You know, you have good direction. It's like you are a compass, right? So north, south, east, west. You see how birds communicate. You see the type of animals that are around in nature, and you use this to your advantage, right? You have survived through hard times, hard terrain, you know, whether it was weather, whether it was storm, you know, you've survived through that storm, right? So we have you coming back to your village, to your community, so that you can share the world with them. I'm seeing pile number 1, you're sharing the world with your community. This hangman situation was a revelation, right? You got a revelation that this battle couldn't have been anything that isn't doing anything but propelling you, right? Pile number one, you're being propelled because you fought the battle wisely. You see this pregnant lady, like she's like still doing her routine, even though she's almost at her last trimester, right? So it's like you listen to certain people, given certain opinions, like you've been able to balance things out with this leadership skill that you have, pile number one, right? I'm seeing that high ruler Viking, right? This is someone who is like attuned to the secret knowledge of this world, right? Pile number one. So we have the Five of Swords. So there was something, pile number one, right? In this betrayal, in this war, in this 606 on the clock, there was some type of like something that you just could not forget during this tribulation, right? And it caught you up. And that's why you had come back from this battle and everyone couldn't have come with you because they weren't seeing what you were seeing. You know, you had to get out of there, but you guys still won. It was just hard to see those people fall off one by one by one by one. And sometimes the reality is if they fall off, they were never meant to be on, you know, or like if people feel the need to like question your leadership because of this backworded advice, you know, people questioning your intuition, it's like people have no right to question the authority of pile number one. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands. So this is all this fast movement going on here, right? We have this fast-paced movement going on here, and people are seeing you. This is you going into battle. This is you going into the fight, the fittest fight, okay? And I need to get some clarifications. I wanted to wait, but what I'm seeing is that, yeah, there were a lot of people trying to throw you roadblocks, working with other people. And what I'm seeing is that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words don't hurt me, right? And then it's like you just come in with the fire, the flame, the vengeance in their village, right? How much of a Viking are you? You don't hold back. Like if you know that there's someone that's doing something wrong and they're corrupt, you convict them for it, you know, or you let God convict them for it. Pile number one. So again, exactly, there was a snake in the grass. There was a snake in the grass. You had to have your poker face on, right? Or there were people around you having their poker face on, not really telling you the dealio, right? But it's your golden moment. It's your golden moment. You know why it's my pile number one's golden moment? It's your golden moment because you won the battle. You won the war. Okay, there were certain people that were at that village that went on that boat across those seas, across the sea, to try to, you know, of course you want to come back with your entire group, but sometimes it's not going to happen like that, right? You're coming back to your village and building a family of your own, right? You're building memorable things with others that matter because of your golden moment. You're shining the lantern. You're praying to your ancestors. You're praying to Lord. You're being kind to those around you. You're being very tranquil, right? And you're just looking outside. And you're just admiring the skies, right? While you're on that boat, while you're on that ship, back from that war, You're looking at the skies and the clouds and the stars for signals, for answers. And what I'm seeing is that it's all going to come full table, pile number one. How much of a Viking are you? Watch and listen carefully. You are so unreadable, right? And then like, it's like a swift attack. You just go for the kill. Pile number one goes for the kill, okay? So this has been your reading, pile number one. We're going to go to pile number two. We're going to get my pile number two on. How much of a Viking are you? Okay, so let me get my cards together so I can get my pile number two. Okay, so I'm getting for pile number two, how much of a freaking Viking are you? There was a missed opportunity, right? There was a missed opportunity because there was something that had been held up. Someone in the family, someone in the bloodline had a death or got sick or was poisoned. That's what I'm seeing. Exactly. Change of perspective. Someone wanted to like not bring peace to the situation, right? So for pile number two, how much of a Viking are you? Pile number two, you're very much of a sovereign, but you're also very diplomatic. You like to make peace of the situation. You're not an aristocrat. You're not someone who is trying to pull the strings in front or behind. You're not trying to like, you are very balanced, right? That's why you are this powerful Viking and you have this beautiful village, beautiful community. Others are jealous of. Others are jealous of the women in that community. Others are jealous of the children that thrive in that community. How the military in that community prevails, battle after battle, war after war. How do you still remain to wear the crown, okay? And back then, when you were a Viking, if you were a bastard son, you would have to fight your way to get the crown, okay? So I'm seeing that people tried to disown pile number two. People tried to call you a bastard. People tried to call you out of something that was rightfully yours. You get what I'm saying? Something that was rightfully yours. How much of a Viking are you? You are a king. You are a queen. You are this Viking strong soldier. And you see it before anybody else. You see it before anybody else. Okay? They can't hold up to the power that you bring to the table in your community. Have you ever seen Brave? Right? I'm getting strong leadership vibes. Like you're the type of person, whereas you pull the strings from behind. You could either be like her father from Brave, whereas the Viking King is there and he has amazing communication skills, okay? I'm talking about, you know how to rough up a crowd, okay? You can get a crowd jumping. Your voice, it just roars for attention. You can't stop, but people can't stop but listen to what you're saying because they're anticipating what you're going to say next. And whatever you say is never what they interpret or never what they assume that you would say, right? So it's like you're always taking hats. You're always taking bunnies like out of your top hat. But it's like, I'm seeing like you're more of like the queen, right? Like the queen pulls the strings. When we go to the Queen's Gambit, right? When we're watching Netflix, when we're watching the Queen's Gambit, when you're playing chess, the strongest pawn, the strongest component on the board is the queen. The queen can move anywhere. The queen can move anywhere, okay? This is what I'm saying. Your angels be moving you places, right? Like, You'll be going through some type of like Loch Ness monster type sea battle, right? You'll see things in the water. You'll go through these super traumatizing events in life, and you'll be like, damn, like, how the hell did I get out of that? Like, I just battled the shit out of that, or I just like, I assumed that maybe it would have been worse, but it came out to be the best because you had that strength like no other, like fighting beasts, right? You saw the beast in the face, like facing the beast face to face, having the strength to have compassion towards your enemies, right? There's a lot of enemies that are coming to the table and wanting to question your leadership. But just because they're jealous of your kin, right? I'm seeing there's a lot of jealousy when it comes to your children, when it comes to you building your foundation, you building your family. People want to stop that. They see that it's strong. They see that it's powerful. They see that it's filled with love. And look at this. This is the same angel that's guiding you. You've had God watching you all along, right? Through your victories. And it's like, you know, back then during the war, it was never a good idea. It was never a good idea to like go into war unless you decided to risk your entire like kingdom and your family, you know, because once you decided to go into war, everyone had a hit out on them, right? So I'm seeing that there were people, pile number 2, trying to have a hit out on your family members. Wow. There were people that were leading your family astray. You had to handle this the best way you could. You let it go, right? There were certain family members that you had miscommunication with. People who don't understand your authority, right? But the thing about how much of a Viking are you, they have to follow the leader, right? Like, top boss is top boss. How much of a Viking are you? They have no choice but to submit, right? Like, and you're reflecting a lot. Like, you have so much intellectual, like, this is just like intellectual abundance. Yes, how you doing, that spiritual homie? It's good to see you. All that, like, look at that. It's like intellectual abundance, right? When I think about intellectual abundance, I think about the wisdom that you have. I think about the oh my gosh, what is the word? The connection of the stories that you lived in your life, right? Like Vikings, they go through a rebirth, right? They have to go through some type of ceremony. When a Viking is in a ceremony and they are initiating themselves, right, to be this strongly built warrior, this Viking is going through this, you know, it's like you're changing, you're elevating. And by elevating and having this higher consciousness and awakening to the power that you hold as a Viking, right? If you go to a seer, she'll tell you that, right, there's certain seers that want to look into your future. There's certain seers that want to look into your future and make decisions for you, but you have the decision yourself, right? It's like you had to kind of let go of the fact that there were a lot of people speaking terrible, like bad on you, like people speaking bad on you. It's like, as a Viking, exactly, you're in the abyss, right? Like, okay, exactly. Pile number 2, how much of a Viking are you? How much of a Viking are you? It's like when you're in the sandstorm, right? It's so funny how there's certain parts in Arabia, or there's certain parts in sand deserts, and they have all these crazy stories about this huge sandworm, right? But then they have the movie that comes out, Dune, right? You watch Dune, there's a super large, huge sandworm. That's what I'm saying. You literally got eaten by the sandworm, the most toughest boss battle, the most like broken down, try to break your spirit, spiritual warfare to the max. You know, this thing tried to eat you. This thing tried to eat away your soul. This thing tried to eat away your light. Take away everything from you. But you split that thing open like a mother watermelon. Okay? You split it open. And you put the past behind you. It's like you're so much of a Viking that you're like built. Like you're built. Like your muscles are just so freaking like, physically speaking wise, it's just like it shows that your strength shows inner as well as it shows outer. You know, if you feel like you need more outer strength, recognize your inner strength. Recognize how strong you are from within. Because what I'm seeing is that you have the composure, right? Because of this boss leadership skills, power number 2, you have the composure to meet with death face to face and not be bothered, okay? That is a superpower. That is a superpower. Wow. That's a effing superpower. To be able to meet face to face with death and not have an issue and not lose composure, it's like someone pulling a gun out on you and you not being scared. It's like Batman. It's like Superman. I've been channeling nothing but superpower energy, superhero energy. It's like you fought through your fears. Pound number 2, 222. Oh wait, well 22 on the clock. All right, that was freaking lit. So let me go to the kitsune. Just to get like overall energy. Wow. So like composure. How much of a Viking is power number 2? That is a strong superpower. To have the composure. Like, think about all the people who have so much power, right? But like, look at Cardi B. She has so much power. She has so much influence. Yet she can only talk about the negative things that people talk. You know, I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't speak nothing. I mean, she speaks negative, but she talks a lot about the negative things that people talk about her. And it brings negative drama and energy to her, right? You're the type of person, you can be like, instead of a Will Smith, right? Like, I respect Will Smith. But he could have handled that differently because now he's banned from the Oscars, sadly. I really wish that did not happen to him, but if he kept his composure, right, and he visualized him slapping the out of that, you know, like slapping the, and just being like, you know, I can already see how much it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. So I'm going to be the bigger person, and I'm going to turn the left cheek on you hoes. Right? You're a fucking dragon king. Look at this shit. Like, you're getting on top. You're like freaking claiming your energy. You're claiming your power. You're claiming your rights. You're going to war. You're going to battle with these hoes. But you're doing it so smart that they can't understand how you do it. Right? So it's like you have tactics. You're very tactical. Right? You might play Modern Warfare. You might play Call of Duty. You might play Black Ops. Right? You might play video games. And people might think that playing video games is stupid, but what they don't realize is that video games alters the mind. It increases creativity, right? So you might be into playing these games and they make you more tactical as a person. Pile number 2. You are that much of a Viking, right? You're a tactical leader. You already know that you already know where their steps are. 2 steps. You're like 8 steps ahead of these hoes. So we're going to go to pile number freaking 3 because dang, that was a lit reading. Okay. I'm sorry. Like, whoa. That is so cool. I like listening to myself talk about this is like I'm just visualizing so many adventures, right? Like if you've ever thought that your story was over, if you ever thought that life wasn't as exciting, let me tell you something. Life is going to get even more exciting for your ass. Life is going to get even more exciting for you. You're going to go through these boss battles like it ain't nothing. And you're going to freaking go home and have the most expensive ass feast ever. You're going to be feeding your neighbors' bellies. Your neighbors are going to effing love you. They're going to bring shit to you. They're going to be giving you free shit. Like, people are just going to be giving you free shit. Like, damn. Okay. So, pile number... Okay, how much of a Viking is pile number 3? I'm totally getting, like, how much of a Viking is pile number 3? What the heck? It's like there's so much of a stable structure, right? Like there's so much of a stable structure pile number 3 provides. How much of a Viking are you? You have advanced information, not just advanced information within your consciousness, pile number 3, but pile number 3, you have advanced technology that you use, right, in order to get to the next plan, right? You might be looking at your map, going on your next warrior, right? So I'm seeing that pile number 3 is outsourcing. Pile number 3 is going to get outsourced by foreign lands. Pile number 3 is meeting kings of kings, queens of queens, right? Your boss level. That is what I'm thinking. I'm feeling like, okay, how much of a Viking are you? It's like you're meeting these other queens and kings, like these other like high level or high energy bloodlines. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, so you attract high level energy and high level, like, okay. But I'm also seeing this as a negative. Okay, so pile number 3, it feels like it's worse. Okay, so how I'm seeing it is because you have this energy to you, right? This Viking superpower energy to you. You attract major manifestations. I mean, major manifestations. And like, it's like looking at a tree. You plant that shit, you don't see that shit grow for like, what, 5 years, 10 years? Like sometimes manifestations that like, whatever you have put out into this world, whatever you have told people and they've told people, or people have seen your art or your work or your craft or your talent or how much of a hard worker you do, that shit travels like fucking crazy, okay? You're a magnet. Your power as a Viking is because you're this visionary, right? Okay, pile number 3 is a visionary. You attract the worst of the worst type of people and the best of the best. And it's hard. It's hard when it comes to the sneaky people. I'm seeing like there have been a lot of infiltrations. Time to take action. You had to take action on these infiltrations so you can sniff a rat, right? So how much of a Viking are you? You can freaking sniff a rat on board, okay? You will see who the scout is. You will see who the spy is. And next thing you know, that person will have to get interrogated, right? They'll be in the back like Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation, just sitting in the freaking interrogation room, getting beat, getting like I'm not saying like you're gonna literally be beating these people, but it's like you've had to come to terms that there are people that want you, you know, like, I'm sorry to say it, but there are people that want you under the boat. You know, they don't want you to have this technology. They're trying to infiltrate you because going back to how much of that intellectual, right, superpower that you have to see 8 steps ahead, it's just like you've been betrayed so much. And so you had to take so much action, right? Like, I'm hearing like they were boss battle after boss battle after boss battle. Like, okay. Exactly. So I'm seeing new moon in Scorpio, right? There was some type of effing witch. There was some type of effing witch that this witch is disgusting, okay? This bitch tried to ruin you. These people tried. Okay, how much of a Viking are you? How much of a Viking are you is that you still remain to be protected. Even when these people are doing crazy stuff in the forest, like, why are these people doing these things in the forest? Why are these people going to practitioners? Why are these people freaking searching up terrible things? Like, if you go in their search bar on Google, like, how much of a Viking are you? Like, these... Oh my gosh. Okay, accuracy. That's how much of a Viking you are, right? You have these somethings with your eyes. There's something with your eyes, right? It's like when you watch the movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie. Watch that movie if you haven't. Watch it, right? It's like this guy, he has an anxiety problem, right? It feels like it's an issue more than it is a blessing, right? So you have a superpower that feels like it's an issue, more of a blessing. How much of a Viking are you? You're highly sensitive, right? So you don't just smell these hoes or infiltrators and spies. You sense it, right? You have this auric field. You have this tingle, this spidey tingle. And that shit can spot an intruder from freaking an NFL field away, okay? Like an NFL stadium field away, like, shit. A new start is coming. You see, it's like, I'm seeing something again about hexes on children. Like, either someone tried to, like, end someone, like someone probably tried to take away your advancement in your community, your advancement, whether you're being promoted, whether you are helping your community for the greater. That could be, you know, being more of a generous person, people trying to mess up your energy. I'm seeing that there's this light at the end of the tunnel. Everything was illuminated. How much of a Viking are you? You can't help but have money around, right? Like, there's going to be a time where the battle is finally won. There's going to be a time where you don't give a F about whether it's fur, faux fur, or mink fur. All you know is that you deserve to treat yourself like the king Viking that you are, like the Viking blood that you have, right? Because the answers that you need are coming. Whatever freaking, this is what I'm saying, this freaking propelling energy that brings negative bosses. I'm talking about the sea worm to the freaking sea dragon in the water to the gladiator and the battle royale to the Spartans. Next thing you know, it's like 30 Romans. Like, I'm watching Matrix 2 Reloaded, right? And Neo's just fighting a whole bunch of agents. Neo's just like doing a whole bunch of like Taekwondo and just fighting a whole bunch of agents. And they're just appearing. Pedestrians turning to agents. Grandmas turning to agents. The battle is finally going to be won. You got this energy to you. You got this energy to you as a freaking Viking. It's like, don't cut your hair. Something about your hair. Something about your hair and letting your hair breathe, right? Because our hair is our antenna. So because you have this intellectual prosperity, intellectual secret, right? Like tapping higher into consciousness. Oh, fuck. Like, there could have been something. Exactly. There could have been something. There could have been a battle that you fucking lost. There could have been the worst battle of your life, pile number 3. How much of a Viking are you? I mean, dang, you came through the worst of the worst when it comes to like think about, there's a movie I think on Netflix called The King or something about the king. It's just like The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. And at the end of the movie, I don't mean to spoil it, all the samurais get killed, right? It's like you literally went through that shit in a past life as this strong, powerful Viking, right? Like, this is a past life. I feel like this is almost a past life reading that I'm doing. Pile number 3. It's like, don't let your past losses, right? Don't let your past losses within your past lives and within these memories that are within your DNA that you're tapping into, don't let these things hold you down. Because just like you have this foxfire, you have this delight. So you had a lot of positive things happening to you as a Viking, right? This past life brought a lot of love. This past life actually brought a lot of awakening to your community, right? You were a strong leader. And there were things that you could have been burdened to, right? But that was because you realized that you had no choice, right? You felt like you had at one point had to sacrifice yourself for your community. So you and your men went out into this battle. And it's like reliving the battle day after day after day, reliving the battle, chaining yourself to the memories of your best friend getting whatever, like chaining yourself to the memories of your commander, of your general, like of maybe you had a little sibling and they were like a little bit older than you. I mean, a little bit younger than you, but they're still like older than like being a teenager, and they wanted to come to battle, right? It's like whatever that pain was that brought these high emotions, because this crazy ass psychic ass witch ass bitch, right? Like just negative people giving you the evil eye as a Viking, right? Like I'm definitely seeing that there is evil eye that has tried to trap you, right? And remember that, like, that power that you hold, and that you are meant to delight in this life and carry on, even though you might not be a Viking in this life, right? You're supposed to carry on your traditions, right? Carry on those traditions, those familial traditions. Teach those to your children. Show people how it is to be a boss. Show people how it is to be a king. Show people how it is to earn a fucking reward, because the bitch needs to, okay? That's gonna be the end of your reading. This has been a freaking really fun reading, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching my video. I need to get some water.